BROLY, the legendary Super Saiyan, a warrior while one of a kind, still couldn't manage to stand up to Goku and the Z-Fighters. But what if things went differently in another universe? What if he not only bested our heroes, but was able to run free throughout the galaxies without restriction? Stop the like button from roiding out legendary Super Saiyan mode by giving it a boop on the nose. Shout out to Mr. Squid for being the first to find Master Roshi's stone hidden in the last video. Find it today and be the first to timestamp it in the comments if you want a shout out next time. Also, big shout out to Yura for the mini comic of BROLY, and Rogeru for the special chapter, who is still taking commissions for the Super Vegeta Den redraw project if you want to help out. And of course, shout out to Saliger as always. It's also worth noting, this video connects to the Broly's Wrath Unleashed and Bulla vs Super Buu uploads, which will be briefly summarized, but if you want the full experience, both are linked below. In many universes, as a baby, BROLY saved not only himself, but his father from the destruction of planet Vegeta. Years later, the two of them had settled on a few worlds to begin their small empire. Herudek was happy with the situation and didn't intend to take it much further. But one day, he discovered that Prince Vegeta was still alive on a planet called Earth, the hatred in his heart persisting from what happened so many years ago. He decided to take out his revenge on King Vegeta through him, developing a plan involving a doomed planet and an oncoming meteor, leading us to the events of Chapter 8. In Universes 1 and 10, the pair were killed early on by the Kaioshins, who were all too aware of the destruction they would one day bring. Universes 2 and 5, the big change happened well before BROLY would ever be born. Universes 3, 7, 11, and 13 have their own various ways the legendary Super Saiyan would be dealt with. For 16 and 18, all we have to do is remember the events of chapters 8 and 12 of our story. 6 and 17 are similar to the aforementioned, though BROLY would go into space to seek revenge, but never found the Earth as our heroes were already dead. He dies alone to endlessly float through the void. Universes 8, 9, 12, 14, 15, 19 yet again follow a similar lore to the events prior to Chapter 8, except Herudek's attention never comes to the Earth. Vegeta is already dead, so the pair live quietly while building their small empire. Universe 20 carries the same story we already know. BROLY is defeated twice by our heroes, but the second time, he wouldn't be driven into the sun, but instead is hurled through space, where he lies dormant until today. Year 786. On Earth, about 2 years after Goku left to train Oob at the end of Dragon Ball Z. Showing his improvement, Goku compliments him on both his offense and defense, happily shouting it looks like he can see all his opponent's movements. Turning Super Saiyan, our hero reminds they agreed on not using any transformations today. Rushing over, he calls for everyone to take a break, causing his youngest son to argue he didn't expect him to be so strong. He just got worried, that's all. Back at Goku's place, while the gang gets dinner, Chi-Chi bellows it's the middle of the night, clearly frustrated by their sudden appearance. But Trunks meekly retorts they were in a different time zone when they were training. Resuming their meal, Goten thanks Soup for getting him off the hook. Before he came along, his dad always wanted to train him. As something intensely catches the entire focus of the Saiyan, he senses an overwhelming power. Yelling he's attacking the planet, leaving everyone else to wonder who. Gohan awakes from his sleep in the same panic, his movement waking up Videl, groggily asking what's going on. But before she can even finish her question, he grabs her by the arm, breaking through the walls and the floors to reach their daughter's room. Holding the three of them, he blasts out the window at full speed. Confused by what's going on, Videl urges him not to fly so fast, Pan objecting as well, telling her father this hurts. When the former looks behind to spot an enormous wave of energy. The devastation quickly making its way around the entire planet. Goku teleports everyone to Kame House, as in this iteration, the events of Super never take place. Therefore, Kinkai's planet has never been restored after being vaporized by Cell, and finding somewhere like New Namek at a time like this would be even more of a potshot than what our hero has planned. Turning back with a tear in his eye, Krillin whimpers the shockwave will reach here too, and the whole world will. Cutting him off, Goku barks for Goten to protect his mother, before screaming to Krillin to get to the ground. But he knows no matter what he does, it's pointless. In West City, Vegeta transforms, calling for the coward to come and face him. where he too is about to lose everything, whether he's able to realize it or not. On the lookout, Dende asks Piccolo if this is the end of the Earth, but the warrior apprehensively says it's not. It's not the end of the planet, it's the end of the universe. The attack finally disperses. The Earth now resembles more of Namek after suffering the wrath of Frieza than the blue marble it once was. Pulling himself from the water, Goku turns his head looking for Krillin, calling for his family and Noob as well. He spots his son nearby. Goten cries he didn't manage to save her, and this is the second instance his mother has died right in front of him. Knowing there's no time to lose, he's aware Broly's strength will continue to increase, and since the others are too weak to stand a chance, he simply tells them to stay here. Elsewhere, Goten isn't the only one who failed to protect his loved ones, as Gohan mourns the loss of his wife and daughter. Broly laughs out in triumph at the devastation he's caused. He's surprised by the sudden appearance of Kakarot, who promises he will pay for what he's done. Saving Gohan and retreating for the moment, Goku locks onto Vegeta's energy, telling him they need a plan. But the prince scoffs at this, asking, a plan? Like all the others Broly survived? He's not in the mood. When Gotenks arrives to help, but Vegeta is especially in no mood for him as well, shouting they don't need his stupid jokes right now. Though he doesn't want to laugh. Not this time. So, if they need to drag Broly towards the sun, he will handle it. In the ruins of Satan City, Buu bends over and attempts to heal B. When someone taps down behind him, Piccolo. He tells Buu to listen to him, as this is important, but the childlike creature is only focused on his canine friend, hollering the light killed him, and he can't heal him. The Namekian grunts there is a way to save B, but he needs him to do something, instructing him on a task that isn't explained to the reader. The Majin objects that it's wrong to do what he's requesting. Mr. Satan said so, though the Namekian warrior retorts it's not the same, as he is the one asking. They do everything they can to keep pushing him towards the sun, but Broly is able to detonate the blast, foiling their attempt. Vegeta curses the pair in frustration, but Gohan tells him to calm down and instead join him. The three of them together can try at the same time. Goku recommends they find Gotenks, as his power will help. When something drains the blood from his face, it seems Broly may have increased his power yet again. While we wait for part 2 of this story, we jump over to Universe 18 to a story created by Saliger and Arcady Picardi, which is from the perspective of young Pan. Shout out to Trina Deuhart for helping out with this one.
Year 786 in the Room of Spirit and Time. I must have been 5 years old. Regularly, my grandfather and Vegeta would engage in battles to test their strength. I insisted on watching. I've never seen a real fight before. Ringing in my ears, the sound of the impacts attested to their destructive power. They were concentrated on one another, ignoring everything around them, not giving a second's rest. In front of so much raw power, I felt as if I was receiving the hits myself. My grandfather, who always had a smile and likable face, was concentrated with an expression that was as serious as it was scary. My entire body was trembling with fear as I tried desperately to hold back the tears in my eyes. Today, you're the bravest one! Eat! You have to become strong!
distance. Pan could barely hear the cadences of what the warriors were saying. Vegeta demands his rival get up, but with a smirk, Goku remarks they're done. Vegeta wins. However, the prince doesn't buy it, screaming for him to stop holding back and demanding to know why he himself won again when he knows for a fact that Kakarot is much stronger. Elaborating, Goku reminds the last time he used level 3, it ended the fight immediately. And, interjecting, Vegeta prods it drains all the user's energy. He knows, but if he holds back, they will never solve that problem. Getting in his face, he responds by telling him to then achieve level 3 himself already. They will be able to fight better and surpass it, because as things currently stand, he himself is the strongest, period. But his sparring partner argues that's not true. There is someone even stronger in this very room, who doesn't even need transformation. Pointing to the entrance of the Room of Spirit and Time, he warns that door is their only way out of here, so he better protect it. Though, since Gohan has been away from battle for so long, he has a bit of a half-hearted response to the rather dire threat. Opening his palm, Vegeta bellows, "React, idiots!" As her father steps in front of the blast, Pan is brought back to heartwarming memories of him, from the time they went to the aquarium. To moments that completely contradict what's happening before her right now, where her mother asks him if he'd like to go train with them, but he lovingly declines to peacefully continue his book, urging the two of them enjoy themselves, prompting Pan to proclaim her and her mommy will be the strongest. As Vegeta's blast is shrunk down, she thinks of all the times Gohan read her a bedtime story about wild fables of heroes vanquishing evil villains by impossible odds. And the time she got lost in the grocery store. It was the first time she had ever been all alone. And instead of scolding her, he knew the fear she experienced was punishment enough, and she wouldn't stray away again. So instead of shouting, he held her and simply reminded she has to be more careful, and that he loves her. Easily neutralizing the attack, Gohan glances up at the prince over his glasses. But with his point proven, Vegeta scoffs. "There! That's power!" And Goku understands what he's talking about, but Gohan got his powers from a god, so he doubts they can, impatiently interrupting again. He scowls for Kakarot to do what he wants, but they won't fight again until he can do better than that. Turning the tables on our hero, it actually gets Goku a bit nettled, telling his rival to stop screwing around. Stomping off in a huff, Goku can't believe he's actually serious. But just as there's someone in this room more powerful than Goku, there's also someone more serious than Vegeta. Gohan calls for him the second he passes by, growling if he ever puts his little girl in danger again, he will kill him. After a short pause, the wayward prince puts his pride aside in a rare instance of humility, merely stating, "Noted," as he continues walking away.
That day, I realized that if my grandfather could be terrifying, my dad was even more so. But I also knew that he would always be there to protect me. That was many years ago, and now, I see a girl who's like me in so many ways, much stronger than me. And from what I understand, our dads are the same. So then, if her father is just as strong as mine, why isn't he saving her?